is taking them in their minds in their home. So a lot of what you're talking about is, can you imagine where that might go? Like, in their mind, they're going into their house, and then they start telling you about the room, your lighting, and that's part of it. It's not just about the lights.
The other thing I would add to that is the best time to make a sale is when you're writing up the first sale.
Yeah, to talk about more.
Is to add on to the sale.
And we didn't answer Pam's question.
No.
Well, if you're getting full price, you're negotiating. Everything's negotiating, when you get right down. And yes, more and more people are doing that. And we do, again, I call it intelligent discounting. Somebody says, what's your best price? And you say, oh, let me go call the owner. I mean, that's not intelligent discounting.
That's true.
You know, you have to negotiate and get there. And you tell them, if you get to a point where you have to say, well, they want you to call the owner, say, I can't call him with that kind of an offer. And you get there as high as you can get, and before you call me, you do the best you can to defend the value of the art. You know how to do it. You've all been taught, and you know that we don't just drop our drawers at the immediately at the first question of what's your best price. What are you asking for that? I hate when they say that. I don't respond sometimes. And Maria does it with, what do you mean? And,
well, I used to have a comeback, which is what Pam was talking about, which was we don't devalue our artists' work, but I don't say that anymore. No. Or I turned it around a little bit because we do take allowances because we're closing sales because everybody else is.
And people don't feel insulted if you just dismiss that question.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. You really do need to address it somehow. Even if you say, I always like to say our artists value their own work. Our artists price their work. That kind of takes it into it's valuable, and then you still have to address it at some point.
You also can be on the aggressive. This is a fantastic price for this piece. This is I just say the price is really good, and if it comes up again later on, you got to deal with it again later on. And if you feel, I'm certainly. When people really truly can't afford it and they need help, I like that situation. But some people in the beginning they're hagglers, and you got to figure out whether or not they're hagglers who's interested in buying, or hagglers who just interested in playing a game with you, and you're wasting your time and on down the line, and you're going to get embarrassed by everything. So the main thing is to be intelligent about it and to make it a process and not okay. Sure, you can have 10% off.
I think if you can get to the point where you are negotiating, you have a sale.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, it's just a chess game until you can get to the end.
That's true.
It's getting people to get to the point of negotiation that we are lacking these days, it seems to me.
Why? They have the interest.
They seem to have the interest. They love it. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with me. And then
they drop
goodbye.
off the face of the
and
earth.
then they leave, and there's no even getting to a buying, closing situation. I think that when you get to the point of negotiating, you just do what you got to do and you make it happen because that's when you do have a sale. But I think where we're really stumbling is getting people to the point of negotiation. And how do we take them from going, this is wonderful, I love this, thank you for sharing it with me, to asking those buying questions to get them to the next step.
What I do, if you don't mind me saying.
Where do you go? What do you do when that
Well,
happens?
I'm listening to what you're saying. Chris has something to add.
Back to Pam's question is, I close the sale in the middle as I'm going.
That's what I was going to say.
I don't wait till the last end. I already tell them that it's a good price already. So when we come to the end, they already know not to ask for a discount. Or if they do, there's a percentage of people always going to ask, but most of the time, I put all of that information in my presentation. So by the time I get to the end, it's pretty much
That's the price.
Yeah,
That's the
and
price.
if you look at it like this is the presentation and then I've got to get to the close, you're probably not going to get there. Because you should be, and what's what you were saying, you should be closing all the way. By already telling them, like let's say that the Bossos came in, right? One of the first things to say is not maybe that it's the greatest artist, the top artist in the world, because I don't know how we can say that. I don't know how we can honestly say that it's the top artist. Even when I say it's the top artist in the gallery, I get smirks. I don't do that anymore. Because people kind of come back at you and go, yeah, you're telling. And if I was looking at that artist, you'd be telling me that was the top artist.
Yeah, those fairs, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honesty is a good policy.
Well,
And that's
one
an
of the top.
opinion thing there anyway, you know.
One of the top. But if they're looking at the basso, then I would tell stories, and I start them right away. But I would say, you know, the gentleman that was just in here 2 days ago or last week, and I'll borrow it from Chip, I'll borrow it from Pam or Virginia, or my own experience, because we talk a lot. But I will say, you know, that came up with them, or when they purchased their basso, and all of a sudden, people are buying bassos. In their mind, they're thinking this is a good purchase. That's one thing to do, is to tell them stories about things that people are doing, that people are buying. People are shocked that people are buying artwork. Don't you find that? They think, wow, are you guys doing okay? And I go, yeah, we're doing well. You know, 2 of these paintings, and they're just like, oh, they're not thinking that. So if we can change their mentality about what's happening, you know, they maybe aren't gonna be so caught in the economy stuff. Because I think that's what we're doing in Wailea. We are not caught in this economy problem.
That's why they're asking for discounts too, because they figure, you know, everybody's in trouble.
That's why we have to address
Oh,
it,
yeah.
because it's a real thing.
Yeah.
It is a real thing.
I don't think so much as, you know, we do get some of the economy resistance, but like I said, it's just getting them from the point of going, this is nice, I like it, to considering it for their homes.
But having it in the viewing room, like you're talking about, after you take it off the wall and it's in the viewing room?
Yeah, I think that maybe we're not getting into the viewing room. and
Okay,
is
that's
one
what I was
thing.
wondering.
Get in there as often as I can.
Ellie gets people
Oh,
out
Maybe
there.
she gets them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, follow me in.
I have only had
Yes,
one
it is.
person not be behind me when I got in there. Because I don't ask, I'm just like,
Come back!
Yeah, let me
And
go
then
get you a
I'm-
brochure and then they're gone.
where'd you go?
That's a real thing.
Well, at least now you know, too.
We're not getting them in the viewing room at all.
Maybe more of it. Maybe that's one thing.
I like to, sometimes when you get to the end and you haven't made the sale and it's just about over, I mean, well, what do we do next? You know, are you seriously interested in, because, you know, you don't want to waste your time anymore, waste their time. And what do we do next is a fair question. It makes them say, well, maybe they'll say, you know, I'm really not interested, I'm sorry, or
Or would
that,
you like me to follow
so
up?
don't
That's a good one,
don't
'cause
beg
then they
them to
put 'em
let
on
you
the spot.
follow up. You know, if they're not really seriously interested, and that's a question that will help you determine if they really. And maybe they'll come out with the truth. They truly cannot afford it. Their trailer's not tall enough for the giraffe to go in there. Whatever. it is.
Well, what I was hoping is if we can find out where we might be stuck, any of us, that through us talking, we might be able to get unstuck.
I gotta say, she's got a lot of really good responses. That some of the things that she says that you know that she comes back with, I just can't. Like I don't. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
We've talked about this. Like I can't pull it off, but she does it. Like she does it expectingly. Like you're in here. This is my job. We're doing all of this. Almost like.
She's expecting them
Yes. I didn't want to say the word, but
to.
yeah.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, she's really good at it.